Hello again, and welcome to your Yin Yoga practice for easing into the fall season and letting go of some of that busyness, recovering from a lot of activity at the end of summer. And you may want to have a prop for this, like I mentioned. A rolled up blanket will be a nice way to start on our back. So if you have a blanket roll it as tightly as you can. So you want to get it kind of narrow and long. We're going to position it just a hand length or maybe two away from your seat. You can start with your feet on the floor and then lower yourself down onto your support. This could also be a cushion or a pillow. It's going to go right in the middle of your back. See, I need a little bit more support for the head. So use whatever you have and get into whatever position is going to be comfortable for you to rest here. You want to make sure that the head is supported so that your neck has no strain. And the forehead is at the height of the chin, or even a little bit higher. Tuck your chin in. Again, you can leave your feet on the floor, especially if you have any discomfort in your back. And if it feels good in the back, you might want to extend your legs one at a time and settle in. Give yourself a moment to just arrive in your comfortable resting pose, whatever that may look like. And allow yourself a moment to just arrive in your body, in your mind. With every exhale, let go of anything you don't need to be fully present, to be right here, connecting with yourself. Notice the parts of your body that are supported by the floor. And with every exhale, allow all tension from your body to release down into the ground. With your inhales, just noticing how you feel in your physical body. With every exhale, seeing if there's any tension, you can let go. Letting go of the world of outside distractions. In our Yin practice, we have a special attention focusing inwards. But if at any time something does grab your attention, you find yourself thinking about something else, just notice that. Notice what you're thinking about. And after you acknowledge it, bring your attention back to your breathing and see if you can let it go a little bit easier. Turning in. Once you've noticed how you're feeling, bring your full attention to your breathing. Always breathing in through the nose whenever possible. And breathing out through the nose, or if it feels better, out through the mouth You could even sigh, making a sound with your breath. It's a great way also to let go of tension, a little bit of heat. And just notice how you are breathing without any worry, without any judgment. Simply observe. And do not try to control your breath or change it in any way. We begin with breath awareness of the breath, natural as it is. Noticing the parts of the body that move with your breath. And noticing with every exhale if there's anything else you can release. Letting go a little more. Taking the time at the end of every exhale to release the breath completely. You might even squeeze your navel in a bit to help the last cold air out. And filling up the body again naturally with fresh oxygen. Once you've noticed how you are breathing naturally today, we're going to see if we can balance the breath. So at the end of your exhale, releasing all of the air out. And then on your inhale, we're going to start to deepen the breath. A gentle pause with fullness. And as you exhale, releasing the breath slowly, smoothly, all the way out, for just as long as you are breathing in. Slowly extending the breath. Continue like this in your own rhythm, so that your breath gradually gets deeper, fuller, and your exhales lengthen, and if possible, continue to soften, even as you completely release. So in this way, you're going to come to your maximum comfortable breathing. It's quite a long breath in and a gentle pause with full lungs. And as you exhale, slowing down, smoothing the breath out so that it's a continuous flow and release. We'll continue to breathe like this, a long, easy, and balanced breath in, and a slow, smooth, complete breath out, so that the length of your inhale and its strength, its intensity, more or less matches the length, the strength, the fullness of your flow with every exhale. If at any time you find that your breathing has become forced or difficult in any way, just take it a little easier, breathe a little bit less, or simply return to your natural breath at any time. Enjoy 3 more of these full and balanced breaths. Taking your time with every exhale for a full release. At the end of your 3rd exhalation, simply return to your natural breathing. And if you can stay stable and comfortable with your back support, with your blanket roll, we'll just stay there. So begin to connect the breath on some easy movement. Just going to lift the arms on an inhale, keeping your shoulders nice and heavy. And then on an exhale, lower the arms back by your sides. Then the shoulders stay heavy and relaxed. They're not lifting up out of the plane of the body very much. If you feel any difficulty, any stiffness in the shoulders, it may help you to bend your elbows just a little bit. Do about 3 or 4 more of these arm raises, extending on your inhale. And on your exhale, again, softening any tension, letting go. So by being here on the bolster or your back support in the middle of the back, we're actually supporting the organs of the back body and opening, lifting chest, opening the heart area of it. This can be a nice way to, over time, create a more feeling of suppleness, a feeling of easy expanse. Let's do that one more time, nice and slow. Seeing if you can match the flow of the movement with the ease of your breath. Pausing for a moment, your natural breath. And then as you're ready, bending your knees and coming off of your support, put that to the side, rolling it away from you. Where you can reach it later if you want it, where it won't be in your way. And then just rest on your back, letting the spine be long and the back be fully supported by the ground. Take a moment to notice how that feels. I already notice a big difference. That's great. And once you've noticed any changes physically, you can turn your attention again more inwards to notice any new sensations, any new developments in your breathing. So in Yin Yoga, we work slowly and mindfully. And this is often very helpful for developing concentration and even a more subtle form of awareness of what's happening in your body, in your mind, at all levels. Just to ease the shoulders a little bit, we're going to stay rested on the floor, bring a little bit more movement sideways. So you can extend your legs or leave them bent, and then lift your arms, bending your elbows to reach for your elbows with your hands. We're going to keep the lower body heavy here, the legs resting heavy on the floor. And on an exhale, we're going to dip your elbows over to the side, and then inhale back to the center. As you exhale, dip your elbows to the other side. And if your head feels like moving with your arms, then let it. That's great. Inhale, come back up. Move with your breath here, taking your time again for a full, easy breath. No rush. And just notice again how this new movement feels. And also how it may change your feeling, your awareness of your breathing. So all of the movements that we do here today are for the breath. They will, in fact, in some cases, enhance your breath. They'll give you a different physical space, either through stretching and extending, or compressing, twisting, or constricting. And all of that can be very useful for developing, again, a greater sense of how your breath is supporting you as your fundamental life force. Come back to center. Now we're going to take it in a little bit more circular motions. You could do this over your forehead, and then lowering it down towards the hips. I like to inhale when I bring my arms up as the body's more extended, and exhale when the arms come closer to the hips. Just a little bit of compression. Just notice how this easy, we're looking for fluid motion here, may cause some sounds, some popping, cracking, or sensation through the elbows and shoulders, and also the back. And then just see if you can keep your attention on your breathing. Let's do one more in that direction. And then on your next inhale, pause and reverse the directions. That feels different for me in the left shoulder when I move it in this direction. And that's okay. If that's the case for you, your body may have some big or smaller differences in its symmetry and its balance. Actually, one of the most amazing things about yoga, for me, is that I don't have to do a lot to change that. Like the body is always looking to heal, to restore itself, and to find that harmonious balance. One of those important balance functions is the homeostasis, the maintenance of all of your internal systems. And so by just practicing awareness, when we find a difference between one side of the body and the other, in the asymmetries, we help bring our life energy, the energy of our breath, follows our attention, and that important work happens just a little bit easier, a little bit better. And release your arms and rest them again by your side. And pause and feel. So in Yin Yoga, we're not working so strongly with the muscles of the body. We don't need a lot of force, a lot of effort. In fact, the poses are not yin in and of themselves. It's our approach and our attention to the poses that will cultivate this inner awareness. You're going to bend the knees again and hug your legs into your body. Bring your attention to your tailbone, to the lowest part of your back, and try to keep it long, extending away from your head and down towards the floor. Keeping the back of your head resting on the ground and your shoulders again heavy and relaxed. Squeeze as much as feels good there. And then we'll just also do some circular motions with the knees. I like to hold the knees together. You might feel better opening your knees apart a little bit. And bring your attention to the area just above your tailbone, in the sacrum, again in the low back. And it's a part of your spinal column where the vertebrae are actually fused together. And I want to see, I invite you to see if you can feel where the different parts of the sacrum, so its corners at the top part where it meets the middle back, and the two bottom corners right above your tailbone where they change their pressure, their sensation against the floor. Pause and let's rotate in the other direction. I have a tendency to rush this one, so I'm not always remembering to try to connect this movement with my breath. And that's one of the things that I get as a benefit of Yin practice is a really intentional focus on slowing down. Again, noticing any differences here. And noticing your breath. Give yourself a hug once again. And we're going to extend one leg long and keep the other leg bent. And then bring the knee of the bent leg into the body. Just for a moment, activate your extended leg. So I'm flexing the foot and encouraging the leg down in the direction of the mat, floor. And then grab your knee on the outside of the knee with your opposite hand. Inhale and feel the length of your body. And as you exhale, we're going to twist, bringing the leg over your body and in the direction of the floor. It's okay if you don't reach the floor. Now, your other arm is extended away from your body. Your shoulders remain heavy in the direction of the floor. And if you like, you can start to bring your arm over in the direction of your ear, but keep those shoulders heavy. We're going to be here for about 2.5 minutes. We always want to hold our yin poses for at least 90 seconds. Most people recommend 2 minutes, but you really can stay as long as you like. 3, 4, or 5 minutes. So while we're here, you want to find a version of the pose that works for you. So your knee may be very close or resting on the ground, or it may be hanging out a little higher. So start in a conservative and easy version of the pose where you're able to feel something, but you should feel no difficulty, definitely no pain. This is also commonly referred to as your edge. You find an extent, a variation of the pose where you feel a little bit of resistance, but again, no force, no strain is necessary, and it definitely should not restrict your breath. So if you found that it's harder to breathe here, and your breath has become labored or shortened, and just back out a little bit. Give yourself a little bit more support. You could use your arm underneath the knee on the inside. If that helps you find, again, your edge, your place in the pose where you can stay stable, perhaps just a little bit uncomfortable. This sensation, I'm feeling a good sensation, a slow stretch in the outer hip of my bent leg. And of course, in this twist, we're feeling some compression and rotation through the spine. So classically, we can turn the head in the direction of your outstretched arm. But you could also look up in the center or even look in the direction of your knee. You really just want to look at a place where it feels best for your neck. Wherever that is, feel free to take some easy movements, some minor adjustments in the pose. And you may notice that your edge changes and that you may be able to go a little bit deeper, or you may need to come out a little bit, depending on what you're feeling. You'll know what that is by again turning your awareness inwards and keeping your attention on your breathing and the sensations in your body. These twists are really, really wonderful poses to incorporate into your regular practice. As we twist through the abdomen, we are squeezing the organs of the large intestine, encouraging healthy elimination of solid waste. And twisting through the spine and the upper back, we're also compressing a bit the lungs and getting a little bit of opening through the side body. So just for the last 3 breaths here in this twist, see if you can invite again a full and balanced breath, taking your time with each inhale, and taking at least that same amount of time and care with every exhale. And at the end of your 3rd breath, carefully making your way out of the pose, bringing your arm back to a more neutral position as you bring your leg over. And go ahead and extend your leg, or if it feels better, bend both legs. And again, find a comfortable resting pose as we pause and observe. When you're ready, do the second side, bending the second leg so the knee is over the hip to start. You can also squeeze it into your upper body a little bit. Usually feels good in the lower back. And then before we twist, let's get a little bit more length and just for a moment, activate your extended leg. So you can flex the foot, but really encourage the whole leg down in the direction of your mat. Grabbing the knee with the opposite hand on the outside of the knee. And extending your other arm long, like a T shape at the height of the shoulder. On an exhale, cross your knee over your body and twist to the other side. Here we keep the back of the head resting on the ground for support at first. And try to keep both shoulders heavy and relaxed. The upper back is kind of our grounded side of the body here, our foundation. And that's going to help you get a little bit deeper into your twist without losing that stability. Again, you can turn your head in the opposite direction, away from your leg, away from the knee. You could also move that extended arm up a little bit in the direction of your ear, if that felt good. Give yourself time to find your edge and settle in. Notice if it's a different feeling, and if you feel better taking a different variation of the pose on this side. You might find that one side of your body is just a little bit more resistant, a little bit more perhaps dry feeling in the tissues, a little bit more creaking noises or stiffness. Or maybe this side is a lot easier, it's a lot more open. Keep your extended leg long and relaxed so you can enjoy an easy extension through the whole body. And then again, with your exhale, see if there's anything you might be holding on to that you don't need in this pose. Let it go. So once you've found that edge in the space between comfort and a little bit of discomfort, hang out and stay a while, resting your attention in your breath. So one of the big differences in a Yin class as opposed to Hatha yoga, where we're often a lot more active. Ha, meaning fire, warmth in Sanskrit. Ha, representing coolness, moon energy. In Yin, we're staying rather still. Do use movement, but by really taking it slow, we can give some of the other areas of the body, especially the connective tissue, the time and attention that they need, which is often kind of underfelt or overlooked in Hatha, as the muscles are our main focus. In Yin, we are not using muscular effort very much at all, but there's still sensation. So notice where you're feeling your sensations. This is for me pretty big in the hip, a little bit in between the ribs of the side body, the upper part of the twist. And notice especially if that sensation changes over time. Perhaps letting you go a little bit deeper, the knee coming closer to the floor, the arm extending up a little more. But if at any point you experience a sharp sensation, anything that feels electrical or like a fiery, sharp pain, be very careful. Take it easier. Come out. Give yourself a moment of rest. And then combining with what we've been doing so far, focusing inward on feeling, bringing the attention to the breathing, the third part, kind of the key to Yin Yoga, is time. Because we're working a lot with our connective tissues, like the fascia and the area around the joints of the body. These areas are a lot firmer, more of the structural support our body needs, and they just need more time. So it's really important not to rush. And above all, please honor what you feel and make the adjustments you need to. I'm going to stay for 3 more breaths here. Lovely. At the end of your 3rd breath, carefully coming out of whatever you've gotten into, and then returning once again to a comfortable resting pose. And pause and feel. When we're ready, bending your legs and rolling over onto your side. Using your hands, come up onto hands and knees. Just take a couple easy spinal undulations here, flexing and extending the spine. Cat and cow. You feel like moving around a bit more, perhaps making some circles through the shoulders and the hips. Feel free to do that. Just check the time. Great. So the next pose is one of my favorite ones in Yin Yoga, the puppy dog pose. We start here in hands and knees with your hands up under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to walk the hands forward so they're no longer under the shoulders. We'll go ahead and bring your left forearm right underneath your head. And then we'll continue to walk the right arm forward until you can rest your forehead on your lower arm. This feels already like a very intense version of the pose. You can ease your way back a little bit, or you can also inch your way forward so that your belly is hanging soft and your upper body is relaxing in the direction of your upper legs, which are lifting straight up from the ground. And then you want to walk that extended arm a little bit forward. We're feeling a strong opening in the underarm area, a little bit through the whole shoulder. This may become quite a strong sensation over time. So again, please start in a comfortable and easy version of the pose where you can still feel something and where you can enjoy a long and smooth breath. One of the other nice things about Yin Yoga, when we are hanging out in our pose and it's a stable pose, you can often close the eyes and still maintain that stability and balance. So closing the eyes, and of course, give them a break. This also encourages the mind to rest, taking it easy, and may help you rest your attention more easily on your feelings and your breath. This pose, puppy dog, is very similar to Anahata Asana, a great opener for the chest. With the support of our lower arm, doesn't require so much effort. for opening the channels of energy in the body that support our lungs, heart area. So as you hang out here, notice how your breathing may develop. Notice any changes, and see if you can maintain your attention on a full release. Each exhale out. If you find that your edge has moved, you may want to walk your knees back a little bit or bring your upper body closer to your legs. If you find that your knees are uncomfortable in this pose, you may want to take that blanket or even a cushion and give your knees a little bit more comfort, a little bit more soft support. You've been in the pose a good while now. So go ahead and enjoy 3 more easy, unrushed breaths. And remember that at any time you are provided to, really encouraged to take a little bit more time or come out a little bit earlier if you notice that's what you need. As you're ready, we're going to help ourselves out of the pose, coming back to hands and knees. And a pause here in a neutral position for your spine. Hands beneath the shoulders, shoulders beneath the hips. If you feel like moving your body again, that's great. Feel free to do so. Again, see if you can maintain that connection of movement and breath. I'm not trying to rush or hurry through anything. At the end of your next exhale, return to a neutral spine and then walk your hands about 1 or 1.5 hand lengths forward. And we're going to bend the right arm so that you can lower your forehead onto your lower arm. And then walk your other arm forward until you feel a nice opening in the underarm and a good stretch through the shoulder. Take your time here to adjust what you need to. Another aspect of my yin practice that I'm working on, and that I think is one of the most important things, is really developing that intuition, developing that trust in yourself. To trust yourself to find the version of the pose that's going to be best for you today. That may look very different from what I'm doing or what someone next to you is doing. And that is great. That's wonderful. And then once you've arrived and found your edge in this pose, draw your attention back to the natural rise and fall of your breath. And we sit in the pose and rest a while. Let's pay attention on sensation. See if you can resist the need to chase after sensation, force something to feel a certain way. We're not really trying to make this side feel the same as the first side. We don't want to develop any attachments to any kind of feelings, even if they feel really good. It's human nature to enjoy those good sensations. And it's one of the wonderful benefits of yoga to help us detach from those difficult feelings, those uncomfortable sensations. They will come and they will go. Instead of hunting after something or turning away from what you don't want, the Yin practice can really give you the opportunity to rest in that place between comfort and discomfort. Rest your attention in your breathing and just notice what is. Over time, with practice, you may also notice that it becomes easier and easier to remember that this too shall pass. Notice the softness of your belly as it hangs up of your back. Notice the extension through the spine and even through the neck and top of the head. And then for our last 3 breaths, at least for now, notice how you're feeling as you observe your breath. As you're ready, coming out of your pose, and coming back into a neutral spine, hands and knees. And pause and feel, enjoying your breath. Great work. Okay. So, I'm going to come back down to our backs here for a brief resting pose. And you can start with your feet on the floor, your knees facing up. You could also take a more classic Shavasana with your legs extended one at a time, letting your legs roll open, your feet falling away from the center. And if you like, and especially as we'll only be here for about 1.5 minutes, just 2 minutes today, you might also want to come into one more great Yin pose, Baddha Konasana, the bound feet. In this pose, the bottom of the foot and the toes are touching the bottom of the other foot and all 5 toes. And if this feels too intense, especially in your inner groin, you may want to use your hands or a block or a bolster underneath the outside of your legs, so that again, you can rest in your edge, in that space between comfort and discomfort. Sometimes I like to briefly energize the feet so that the heel comes off of the ground. This will generally bring your knee a little bit more in line with the center of your foot. And then you can bring your fingers onto the hip bones. I like to rest the thumb on the hip bones here. Really see if I can balance the hips. Both hip bones parallel to each other. And with the first finger and maybe the middle finger, finding your pubic bone. These 3 points, when they come into a level, balanced place, is often the most comfortable and stable position for our pelvis and our hips. Whatever version of your final resting pose that you decide on and settle into. Once again, turn your attention inwards and notice and feel. Noticing your breathing and the natural movement that comes with it. And noticing on your exhale if there's any tension in the body, you can release. With every exhalation, allowing your whole body to rest more completely. With every exhalation, allowing the whole body to become heavy and still. And as you continue to notice and feel any sensations that come and go, bring your attention once again to your breathing and rest with full awareness of your attention in the rise and fall of your natural breath. Enjoy 3 more easy and complete breaths where you are. And as you're ready, slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Drawing your awareness back into your body. And slowly beginning to wake up your physical body. Fuller breath, bring more energy, more vibration, and movement. Again, starting to move the body in any way that feels easy, feels sweet and intentional. Now, if you're in Baddha Konasana, you may want to bring your hands to the outside of your legs and help your legs back up. Perhaps leaving your feet on the floor and letting your knees rest on each other. A little tent with your legs. Just a gentle counterbalance with that deep stretch of the inner groin, inner leg. When you're ready, you might want to hug your legs into the body again and give yourself a big squeeze. Finishing by rolling over onto your right side, resting for a moment in the fetus pose. Rest your head on your upper arm, so your head and neck are easy, not support. When you're ready, using your hands to come up into a comfortable seat. Please sit in any way that feels easy and where you can lift your upper body and enjoy the extension of your spine. No pain, no strain in your hips or your knees. Simple cross-legged position can be nice. But if you notice that your knees are higher than your hips, you may want to sit up on a little bit of support in a cross-legged position, or even just come into an easy kneeling position, also using support here if you need. I'm just going to finish with a brief moment of breath awareness, same as we began, but now in a classic seated pose, a asana, comfortable seat. Resting your hands on your legs. Your arms can be heavy, shoulders relaxed. Lifting your chin so that it's parallel to the ground. You can enjoy the length on all sides of your neck. And closing your eyes, once again turning your attention inwards. Take a moment to notice the overall effects of your practice, especially any new developments, any different sensations you might not have noticed before. When you're ready, bringing your arms to the center of your heart, lifting your heart and bowing your head to that heart. In our last pose, an offering. May your practice benefit you and those around you. Namaste.